Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen Workshop. It is January 27th, 2022, and it is 6:30 p.m. Call this workshop to order. I will have the prayer on Tuesday night. The Pledge of Allegiance will be with Commissioner Robert Stevens. You should all have a copy of the minutes in your packet, and we'll go to presentations. First, we have the Fire Department.
Good evening. We're here to make a few promotions tonight. The first one is going to be a new position within the fire department here that we budgeted for last year, going into this year. And so we've actually got a chance to put it in place. The first promotion is going to be to the training chief. It'll be for Matthew Fry. I'll give you just a brief background on Chief Fry. He's a fire officer for the State of Tennessee Fire Commission, advanced EMT, and he is currently enrolled in not too long for pursuing and finishing his associate's degree.
Oh, I'm finished.
Congratulations. He has finished his associate's degree in fire science. It's a tremendous step for the fire department for higher education, and we are proud to promote him to the rank of training chief. Be your daughter pending tonight?
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Oh, boy. That's great. That's awesome.
Congratulations. We're also going to go. In the traditions of the fire department, the helmet front piece is an identifier of your rank and your assignment. So it is one of the greater moments of pride for firefighters to show where they work. The city of Laverne has their name on it and their rank. So we're also going to give that to Chief Fry for his helmet. Thank you. Congratulations, brother. Second on the list is promotion to the rank of Lieutenant Josh Dixon. Josh or Joshua, how would you like to be called? Josh. Josh. So we're going to promote him to the rank of lieutenant tonight. Josh Dixon's been with the department 8 years, correct? Yes, 8 years. He is currently a fire officer too with the state of Tennessee. Has his EMT license with the state of Tennessee Health Department. Provides a great service to our people that live here and visit here. He's also an inspector, which is a tremendous role within the city of Laverne. And he is now enrolled in fire science at Ball State Community College for an associate's degree. We could not be any more proud of him.
Thanks, sir.
Who's going to pin you?
My dad.
My dad. Police chief.
Coordinator for drug court.
Outstanding, sir. Congratulations, bud. Outstanding. Thank you. Up, and I will give him his helmet front.
I need that today.
You need that. We need that. All right. Next on our list will be Darren Horn. Lieutenant Darren Horn, promoted to the rank of firefighting lieutenant. He's been with the department for 14 years, correct? Correct, sir. He has a fire officer one of the state of Tennessee, and he is enrolled, which we're very proud, in our EMT and advanced EMT class that we're hosting here. So he is making progress and better helping himself and helping the department. Who's going to pin your badge tonight, sir? Outstanding. I'll give it to her. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
We're also promoting to driver or engineer, Tyler McCormick. Tyler's a second-generation firefighter, correct? Been here 14 years, right? Is that right? 6 years. Well, what count your volunteer time, right? 7. Well, I was misinformed, I'm sorry. 7 years. I'm trying to give you credit, brother. Right with it. So his father was the first fire chief of the city of Laverne when it became a part of the municipal government. It's a great honor to give you this badge. Congratulations. His brother, or I'm sorry, his uncle, Alan McCormick, battalion chief, will be pinning him tonight. Draw blood. Tyler is also a fire apparatus operator in the state of Tennessee, and he is enrolled in the EMT class as well. Again, bettering himself and bettering services we provide in the city. And last, tonight, will be promoted to the rank of engineer, Mitchell Riggert. Mitchell has as well the fire apparatus operator and holds an advanced EMT license with the state of Tennessee. Who's going to pin your badge tonight? Your wife. Outstanding. What's her name? Brooke. Brooke? Miss Brooke, congratulations. Stabbing. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, buddy. That is absolutely wonderful to see. So,
Yes, it is.
moving on, we have departmental reports on Tuesday, and then we have old business. Second reading, ordinance 2021-34, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 29 parcel 21.01 consisting of approximately 15.5 acres located at 303 Blair Road from an R4 mobile home residential zoning district to an R3 high-density residential zoning district. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on October 26th, 2021. This is second reading. Does anyone have any questions about this? Seeing none. Second reading, ordinance 2021-35, an ordinance to amend the Laverne Municipal Code to establish a fee schedule. There will be a public hearing on Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m. in regards to this. And again, this is second reading. Does anyone have any questions on this?
You want to mention the change in the effective date?
The effective date for this, since this was on last month's agenda, due to the snowstorm, we weren't able to have that meeting. The proposed effective date for this would be March 1st. Moving on to number 6, second reading ordinance 2021-36, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance to refer fees in the zoning ordinance to the fee schedule that will be established by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on November 30th, 2021. Again, a public hearing will be held on Tuesday, February 1st at 6:30. Does anyone have any questions? This does have the same effective date as the prior. Seeing none, second reading ordinance 2021-37, an ordinance to amend the Impact Fee Ordinance to refer fees in the Impact Fee Ordinance to the fee schedule that will be established by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Again, there will be a public hearing on Tuesday, February 1st, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. for this item. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to the consent agenda. A, approve special provision agreement easement for the 2019 Interceptor sewer line improvement projects. Basically, the This is an agreement that a property owner has requested the city in regards to that project. Essentially, if I'm remembering this right, they're wanting a sewer tap instead of the value of the easement, which this would save the city $2,825. So this would be a savings for the city and I think would work out well. Is there any questions? B, approve amendment to the 2021 League Facility User Agreement with the Rutherford County Crimson Tide Youth Football and Cheerleading League. This was discussed last month. This is just to reduce the league fee from $4,000 to $2,000. Is there any questions? C, approve contract with Nashville Party Authority to provide DJ services for the Winter Formal Dance on February 5th, 2022. Again, this was discussed last month. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to D, ratify the approval of a memorandum of understanding with Motlow State Community College for Fire Department Emergency Medical Technician Training. This is ratifying the MOU, and with everything that happened with last month's meeting, this is just ratifying that training that's already begun. Any questions? Moving on to E, approve 2022 League Facility User Agreement with the Rutherford County Crimson Tide Football and Cheerleading League. This is our standard contract with them, and it's for $2,000. Is there any questions? Moving on to F, approve use agreement with Youth Incorporated for the 2022 Inline Hockey League. This is our regular contract with them, and it is the price on it is $500 payable to the city. Is there any questions? Moving on to G, approve change order number 1 for the 24-inch water line from Stones River Road to the water treatment plant.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. Thank you for your time this evening. This change order number 1 is for the 24-inch water line project, where it will revise the final connection of the location where the 24-inch was originally supposed to tie in to the existing 18-inch that's at the plant, to accommodate the installation of a new 18-inch finished water flow meter. The flow meter must be installed before the connection so that it's one single line before the water splits out, so that the full amount going to the distribution system can be measured. The existing flow meter and its transmitter is approximately 20 years old, and we have been made aware that it's no longer supported or available by the manufacturer. The existing 18-inch distribution main line will already be impacted to make this connection, so this would be an ideal time to put that flow meter in. Otherwise, if you do it separately, it would be additional impact to the plant operations and to the distribution system. There is an adjustment to the contract time to add 14 additional days to allow the contractor adequate time to put the scope of work in and the electrical work associated with it. This change order will add $184,075 and 14 calendar days to the 24-inch water main from Stones River Road to the water treatment plant project. There is a reduction in pipeline because we'll be moving it back, so it's about 179 feet from the original project scope that will be reduced. That was a unit price bid item already in there. We approximate it right now. Using the contractor's bid price, that would be about a $55,000 savings, but that will be worked out on the final adjusting change order based on the actual installed quantities at the end of the project. TDEC has reviewed and approved this change order, and the contractor has agreed to it and signed the form in the packets. So I think y'all are good with it, then.
Does anyone have any questions about this item?
I do. Will it have an impact on the completion of Stones River Road? Because it's a very heavily travelled road, so this is not going to affect Stones River Road completion.
This will be within the property at the water treatment plant at the end of the project. It will not be on Stones River Road.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions in regards to this project? Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
Moving on to H, approve renewal of the cooperation with civilian law enforcement officials agreement with the Department of Navy Naval Service Warfare Center for equipment used by the police department. This is for the night vision goggles. Total cost for the city is $6,000. Does anyone have any questions?
How many pair is that?
The
20.
yeah,
0?
20.
It's 20.
Any other questions? Moving on to I, approve agreement for engineering services with CTI Engineers Incorporated for the Bain Drive Water and Sewer Line Relocation Project. And who is taking that one? Is that Michael? Yes, sir. This is a big project for the city that's going to widen that whole road, but this is just the water and sewer portion.
Yes, sir, that's correct. So, we received a notification from TDOT, it's a state project, and there's some conflict with the existing water and sewer line. It's gonna consider relocate, or that will consist of relocating them. So we've asked Neil Hall to do the engineering for us on it.
Does anyone have any questions about this item? Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, sir.
J, approve a dependent eligibility audit services agreement and a business association agreement with BMI Audit Services LLC to conduct a dependent audit for the city of Laverne. This is something that we do every few years, and it's to make sure that everyone who's on the plan is supposed to be there. The cost for this audit is $9,487. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, moving on to new business. First reading ordinance 2022-01, an ordinance to amend Title 15, Chapter 11, Section 15-1101 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding the driver education course. Currently, our municipal code requires driver's education course to be conducted by the Laverne Police Department. And with all the materials, trying to get that and get certified officers to do that, it's, with this day and age, it's more convenient to go ahead and farm that out to different groups. Some people do it online, but it basically reduces the amount for traffic school for each person from $100 to $50. Does anyone have any questions? First reading ordinance 2022-02, an ordinance to amend Title II, Chapter 3, Section 2-301 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding the membership of the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee. So current requirements for the committee include a provision that requires the county mayor or a county commissioner to be a member. GNRC does require that, so this will remain. So it's been put back into the revised ordinance. And then the current requirements also specify that 3 members are to represent the community or the industries of Laverne. This change simplifies these requirements and removes these 2 provisions. The new version of this will only require 2 members to be from the Senior Citizen Club, the county commissioner or county mayor position, 3 members to be appointed from the general constituency without regard to location of such members' residence in Laverne. One member will still be adopted from the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. That provision is in a separate section of the municipal code, and then these changes will allow the committee to be reduced in size from 11 members to 7, which, Vice Mayor, was that what you were wanting whenever it was discussed before?
That's correct. Now, my only question is, and I contacted Bruce, the members that I asked to be taken off, did you all contact them?
No, sir, not yet. We have to wait until this gets
Have to wait
approved
till this is
before
over?
we can move
Okay.
on removing any members.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions in regards to this? Moving on to yes, sir.
Just one more. The county commissioner, is he or she a part of the quorum? So they would, okay, all right.
Any other questions, Vice Mayor? First reading ordinance 2022-03, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 14, parcel 48, consisting of approximately 0.78 acres located at 441 Sand Hill Road from a agricultural zoning district to an R3 high-density residential zoning district. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on December 28th, 2021. There will be a public hearing held on Tuesday, February 1st, 2022 in regards to this. Does anyone have any questions?
Someone here for that?
We do have a representative here for the project. Sir, if you please come forward, state your name for the board.
Oh, I know him.
It's Austin Kepley, 2037 Harbor Drive, Smyrna, Tennessee is my address. One thing I'll note in here is it says 3-story live-work units. We're just doing 2-story townhomes, which was noted at the Planning Commission as well.
Who's the developer?
John Jones.
John
Well,
Jones.
me and John.
Right. So my only question that I have, these units that you're wanting to build are going to be for sale units. They're not going to be rental units.
Yes, sir. We plan on, assuming real estate Armageddon doesn't strike, we're planning on selling these units. We don't plan on holding them as rentals.
And if this passes and comes back for a final
For a
plat, you all control
Correct.
brick, all that kind of good stuff?
Right. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions in regards to this?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
First reading ordinance 2022-04, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 17E Group A, parcel 1, consisting of approximately 0.59 acres located at the intersection of Woody Thomas Drive and Old Nashville Highway from a C2 Highway Service Commercial Zoning District to a C3 Neighborhood Service Commercial Zoning District. This received an unfavorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on December 28, 2022. And again, there will be a public hearing on this on Tuesday, February 1st, 2022 at 6:30. Does anyone have any questions about this?
What was the reason having an unfavorable recommendation?
I believe it was that this was not consistent with the surrounding homes, and I know there was some discussion in regards to the live-work units with the actual work involved with them.
In addition, Dennis, there was some discussion of the site. It's a very small corner. It's 5.9 acreage. So it's a very small corner, and it really wasn't running consistent with the rest of the area. And that's what the planning board came up with.
A C3 zoning neighborhood thing, is that kind of like what they're wanting to do over here by Kentucky Fried Chicken? That's what we zone for that C3?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? First reading ordinance 2022-05, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2021-22 Streets Capital Projects Fund budget. And this will move $2,035,000 from the fund balance to the specific line items for 3 projects. And this is the preliminary design for South Waldron widening project, the Fergus Road project, and design for the Old Nashville Highway widening project. Is there any questions?
All 3 are very important for the flow of traffic in the
Absolutely.
And it needs to be done.
Long overdue, in my opinion.
Refresh my memory on Fergus. Did we decide a roundabout? What did we decide?
I believe we decided 2 roundabouts.
Okay, I got you. Thank you, sir.
First reading ordinance 2022-06, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2021-2022 general fund budget. This will move $438,993 from fund balance to this specific project, and this one is architectural services for the new Fire Station 41 on Old Nashville Highway. Anyone have any questions? Resolution 2022-01, a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare property owned by the city to be surplus to the city's needs and directing disposal of the same. There's a police vehicle that was in a traffic accident back in 2020, and working with the insurance, the vehicle was salvaged, and the city kept the vehicle for parts. So all the useful parts have been removed from the vehicle and used in other vehicles. So this resolution will authorize the city to sell the remains of the vehicle for scrap and have the vehicle crushed. And Bruce, I'm assuming we've already removed all decals from that vehicle?
I know they will be before we take it, but yes, they will be. I'm not for sure if they are yet.
If that, Michael, if you could make sure of that and let me know, please.
That's standard procedure now, yes, sir. But it's gonna be crushed, so, you know,
Still. Trust but verify.
yes.
Any other questions? Resolution 2022-02, a resolution to adopt a new employee handbook. This has been a long labor of love for many, many people. So you should all have a copy of this in your packet. I don't know how far y'all may have gotten in it, but if anyone has any questions.
Well, I'll be the elephant in the room here, so whoever, Andrew, Bruce, Mayor, whoever had a hand in this, from talking to the employees, you did a great job. And they appreciate it. Can you tell that I'm buttering you up for what I'm fixing to ask? I think it's great about the shorts, the tattoos. I think all of that, because getting the employees to be happy and comfortable, I think they'll do a great job. What I would like to ask is that to see if we can do away with this 80-degree short wearing thing, and I'll tell you my reasons. You watch channel 2, 4, 5, check my phone, check your friend's phone or whoever, nobody's going to get the same temperature. I would like to see us implement a date to go between, because Tennessee weather, you all know as well as I do. The dates that I've been thinking about asking for is I'd like to see it go from April 15th to October 15th. Let the employee decide if they want to wear shorts that day or not, because I feel like if you get into that 80-degree thing, you're going to try and pinpoint, you know, and somebody can't say, well, my phone said it was going to be 84, and my phone said it was going to be 78. So I'd like to see us put a date in there, and that way everybody's on an even keel.
Yes, sir. We understand that none of the weather forecasts are, you know, the same or not always accurate either. But the concern we had about setting dates, we talked about that multiple times in working on this policy. You know, you could have a warm January, you could have a warm February, March. You know, if you set specific dates, you are totally limiting yourself to within those dates. And you could have other days outside of that range that are above 80 or 85. We originally had the temperature at 85.
I heard.
We lowered it down to 80, just to give a little more spread there. But, you know, the concern is, what if you have a hot week, month, whatever, you know, because you never know with Tennessee weather. So that was our thoughts there.
I'm going to say that the 80-degree days in January is not going to outweigh the 80-degree days of the last of April. So that's just my opinion. I'd just like to see it to where it's across the board, because if his phone says one temperature and this phone says another, and this person wears shorts and this person don't, then they say, well, it said it wasn't going to be 80. Then, you know, and I'm sure department heads or even yourself is not going to split hairs on a couple of.
No, we're not going to be the shorts Nazis on that and
degrees.
Be really, really picky about that, so.
You know, but that's just, like I said, I just wanted to put that out there. I'd just like to see it, you know, some straight across the board level playing field. So.
Well, I would like to suggest one other change with this and get the board's thoughts on it. But currently we have some federal holidays that we work, and we have one of those is Veterans Day. And any thoughts on changing out the individual floating birthday for Veterans Day and closing city offices on Veterans Day. Thoughts?
I think that we need to vote on this and get it going, and I guess I would have liked to had more time. I'd like to ask department heads what they think about it. But I guess I don't know which one's more important to an employee, floating that holiday or floating that birthday or whatever. So I personally don't even know what would benefit one or the other.
Bruce, you want to comment on that, either way?
Just from my experience in hearing other employees talk about the days, I think everybody really likes the birthday off. You know, if you took that away and turned it into Veterans Day, you know, I'm not sure how everybody would feel about that. I'm sure the veterans would be happy because you're honoring them on that day, which is well deserved, and they need that. But I'm not sure how everybody would feel about not getting that birthday in the future. So that it'd be good to ask employees that.
So if we can pass this, it can still be amended. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. This handbook can be amended by resolution, which is just one reading, you know, at any city council meeting.
That would give us time.
Well, the other option that I have in mind is leave the birthdays alone and simply close for Veterans Day.
Just add it as an additional day.
Yes. Thoughts on that from the board?
I don't have a problem with it.
No, I would agree. I don't have a problem with that neither.
Alderman Waldron?
I don't have no say-so either way, you know, it doesn't really, I don't have a preferable. It's, whatever the majority of the employees want to do, I'd be happy with it. I don't have no certain pet pay in that deal.
Okay. Any other discussion on the new employee handbook? Any other questions or anything?
Just like a few more days to read through it. Just interesting reading and need a bit more time to review it.
So come Tuesday night, if I make a motion for that and it gets shot down, then we move on to this and carry on.
You can make a motion, and if there's a second, it'll get voted on. And then based on that, if it passes, it passes. If it does not, then we can entertain another motion, or we can move on to the next item.
Okay, yeah, because I just, one way or the other, I mean, I'm asking for what I would prefer, but I don't want to put this off. I want to get it going. It's been a long time coming.
Yes, sir.
All
Any
right.
other questions? Want to thank Bruce, Kyle, and Andrew for all their hard work on this. Andrew, I know that was one of the first things we threw at him, so thank you.
Yeah, I didn't know who all was involved, so I just thanked everybody.
Motion to approve a professional services agreement and proposal from TM Partners, PLLC, for architectural, engineering, design, and construction administration services for the Police Department Building Expansion and Renovation Project. Does anyone have any questions on this?
I do just one comment on the 730 days. Is there, what's the thought process behind that?
The contract duration?
Yes.
Bruce?
My understanding is, and Kyle can correct me, but that's 2 years for design and construction,
And construction, okay.
is my understanding. It includes construction. So it's not like the design's going to take 2 years before we even start the actual building and bidding and all of that process.
Okay, fair enough.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Moving on to appoint or remove board and committee members. First, we have the Smyrna and Rutherford County Airport Authority, and this is appoint Laverne representative. Alderman Coates has been serving in this capacity since 2002 and would like to continue. Next, we have the, excuse me, the brand-new Beautification and Arts Advisory Committee. We've got 6 terms vacant. I've been hearing on social media several people interested in applying, so hopefully we will have some applications before the meeting, but this is currently just an FYI. Next, we have the Beer Board. We've got 1 term that expired on the 31st of December. It's Jennifer Maxey. We have contacted her, and she'd like to stay on this board. So, and then if we have any other applicants, that by Tuesday, that will be listed. Next, we have the Board of Zoning Appeals. We've got 1 term vacant, which was Jim Hessman's, where he resigned from that board. If we do not have any applications for that, this will be removed Tuesday. Next, we have the Construction Board of Adjustment and Appeals. We've got 1 term that expires at the end of January, and that's Felicia Anderson. She would like to remain on this committee, and no one else has applied at this time. Next, we have the Greenway Advisory Committee. We've got, excuse me, 1 term that has expired on December 31st, and that's Robert Lee. He does wish to remain on this committee, and we do not currently have any other applicants. If we do get any by then, they will be listed. Next, we have the Historical Preservation Advisory Committee. We've got 1 term that expired at the end of the year. That's Tony Vedetta. He would like to remain on this board, and no one else has applied at this point. If they do, we will add them to the list. Then we have the Library Board. We have 2 positions open. Glenn Green is having to, his term has expired at the end of the year, and due to state law, he cannot be reappointed. And then Alderman Waldron's term has expired on December 31st, so we will be appointing the council position.
I'd like to stay on.
Okay. Next, we have the Local Emergency Planning Committee. We've got 5 terms that expired at the end of the year. All these positions do need to remain the same for these departments. You're looking at Chief Davis, Chief Beasley, Fire Marshal Brinkley, David McGowan, and our one and only Bruce Richardson. Next, we have Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. We've got 1 term that expired at the end of the year. That is Mr. Jensen Hebert, and he does not wish to remain on the committee due to relocating. So we have not received any applications for this yet, but if we do, that will be added to the agenda. And then we have the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee. We've got 1 term vacant, 1 term expired. Shamel Balbalosa had to resign. She moved out of the city. And then Wayne Blair's term expired at the end of December, and he does not want to remain on the committee. So we will be reaching out, of course, to each of the county commissioners for Laverne as well as the county mayor to see if any of them are interested in being on here. And then we also have the ordinance that would reduce this board down to 7 as well for Tuesday night. Last but not least, we've got the Stormwater Appeals and Advisory Board. The term of Earl Garvin Jr. did expire at the end of the year. He wishes to remain on this board. If we get any applications, that will be added to the agenda. With that said, moving on to Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderman Waldron.
Again, I want to congratulate all the firemen that got promotions. Good to have all of them here, and I always like to see in-house move up. And the cold weather is upon us. Check on the elderly. Make sure your pets have shelter and fresh water. And keep the Hunter family in our prayers. But they had a family member that they lost last night, and keep the Hunter family in their prayers. That's it.
Alderman Coates.
Nothing this evening, Mayor, nothing to say.
Vice Mayor, no?
Just thanks again, you guys getting that handbook. That was, it's a good deal. I think the employees are really going to like it.
With that, I call this meeting adjourned.
Colin.